Did you know that the ombre effect can take your cards from simple to stunning in just a few steps? Have you ever struggled to achieve that perfect gradient look? Join me as I challenge myself to create beautiful ombre cards using BetterPress plates, pushing my card making skills to the ultimate level. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be creating ombre cards using BetterPress plates. These plates are a game changer for ombre stamping and other techniques as well. Let's get into it right now. All right, I'm going to be using some of the new BetterPress plates from Spellbinders. These are the CopperPlate collections. They are all Christmas themed. So I'm going to start off by taping my watercolor cardstock that's 100% cotton to my chase of my platen of my BetterPress. And then I'm going to add my sentiment. These are all sentiment BetterPress plates. So I'm going to take and attach my first one onto the platen. And I'm going using a combination of red, Pink Fresh Studio inks. I have everything listed in the visual supply list below. All the colors I use and everything else. It's all listed below. I'm going to put the top on, run it through my die cutting machine, and I have my first ombre BetterPress. And to do this, I'm going from lightest to medium to dark to light, medium, second lightest, medium, dark ink. And I'm just overlapping the ink slightly. You could actually do this with blend them with a brush and it would be super easy. I did run this one through twice so that I got a very good impression. So for the next one, I'm going to do this. I'm going to add a Santa down here. These other plates that I'm using and die cuts are from my stash. I can't remember the name of this Christmas one. I got it last year when I got my BetterPress system. So I'm going to go ahead and add my second piece of watercolor cardstock. And again, I'm using just plain watercolor cardstock that's 100% cotton. You could use the BetterPress watercolor paper or BetterPress cotton panels. To do this, I just didn't have any, so I just have this watercolor paper and it worked great. This time I'm using a combination of blue inks from, I believe it's Hero Art, and there might be a Pink Fresh Studio one in there somewhere. I did try a lot of different inks to see how they reacted with the paper and the BetterPress system. This one I had a little bit too high, so I'm going to go ahead and just not use that card up front. I'm going to slide my plate down just a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and ink this up again. This time I started at the bottom because I had the ink in my hand first. And I'm going to go ahead and do the medium and the light color. This one I only did 3. I was able to get that perfect ombre effect with ease. So right now I'm just doing my BetterPress stuff. I found that if I do everything that has to do with one system, it worked a lot better, and then I could add the other elements to these cards later on. Like for this one, I'm going to do the Peace on Earth sentiment from the CopperPlate collection. It's going to go at the bottom, and I've got these pine boughs BetterPress plates up at the top. I'm going to use those as my accent pieces. So I'm inking this up in different shades of pink, green ink, and these are from Hero Arts and a little Pink Fresh Studio ink as well. I just kind of mixed things together. I picked out 3 colors that I really liked, that I thought worked well together, and just added them onto the elements. So I'm going to go ahead and have the ombre look on the pine boughs, and on my sentiment is just one color that time. All right, I'm going to use those pine boughs again. This one is, Heaven and Nature Sing, I think is what it is. Happy New Year is what this one is. So I put those at the bottom, and I'm inking this up in the ombre style. Just using those same ink colors I used before and inking just right over. I am doing the twist and pounce and twist method that Spellbinders recommends. So I'm doing that with my brush, the ink pads. I found the ink cubes work really great for this, and I had no problem with any of the inks I used to do this whole technique. Now for this card, I'm going to use the Sentiment Believe, and I'm going to add this cardinal with on the pine bough branch Pine Branch. BetterPress Plate, that is an older one that came out when the system came out that year for Christmas. So this time I'm using the big plate, and I inked that up in some archival ink because I had plans to watercolor this. I wanted to keep it away from my sentiment. I am going to use just the corner up here of these different shades of violet. I did ink the whole thing up with my lightest color and then added a medium and a dark. And I'm going to come back over that with the archival ink and run that through the system. And I got a perfect impression. All right, I'm going to come back and add the Santa. With this one, I'm going to use the holly and the to and from. There actually is a tag die for this set where you can create your own little gift tags and better press them. So I did not use the die today. I decided to make a card front instead. I thought it would make a good I could stick a gift card in there and the card. I am going to ink this up in Distress inks because I wanted to see how this worked. I did ink the holly up in red and green ink, but it worked perfectly fine with the Distress inks. All right, I'm going to come in and add Joy to the World. I believe that's what this one is. I love it's Joy to the World. And I'm going to come in with archival ink to begin with. I'm going to run that through first once with the just regular ink. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to add a second color of ink. I'm adding brown on there. And I'm going to since everything's lined back up, didn't move anything, I could run it through. Now there's all my card fronts that I created for this using this system and the ombre stamping. Now I'm going to turn some of these into cards. I have already die cut some other ones. This was a die set that I had from Spellbinders. I could not find it on their, I think it was the light something or other. It was the Christmas light set. I am pretty sure during their last little holiday sale in July, it sold out. So, but I still have it, so I'm going to use it. I have just did some watercolor painting onto some cardstock and just use that to cut my die cuts from. So I put one at the top, one at the bottom, and I've got different color lights I'm going to add on here to add that. And I'm not going to show you the complete finished cards today. I will have that on the completed blog post. So if you want to see the completed cards, you can head over to the blog post and see all those. We made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. So you can head over and see those. I'm going to finish adding on the little colored Christmas lights. And I am going to cut this down to get more out of it. So we're going to take our big scissors. I'm going to add some highlights. I don't know why I was adding highlights there. Who knows? But we're going to go ahead and cut that off. Grab my gel pen, add some light highlights. I should have waited. I don't know why I did it then. So I'm going to flip my long handle scissors and cut everything off. And then I'm going to piece these back on to the card front to fill in the rest of the area. After we get everything nice and cut off. And I'm just working on that A2 panel for now. I will add those to card bases before I finish the cards. I will add them to card base. But I'm just showing y'all the process of doing the card fronts right now. So I'm just going to tuck these into position and add them where they fit. That way I can get more out of those little scraps and fill in the card front. So I'm just going to add a couple more of those little pieces right there and just put them in where they fit. And it worked out just perfectly. I've seen me do this technique many times where I've just added extra die cuts or the leftover die cuts back into place and trimmed off any excess hanging over. So we're going to go ahead and finish that one up. I've got this one little piece of the string that I'm going to add. And I'm just going to hang that off the side so that I can get everything nice and lined up. Now I'm going to add little highlights to those. And I'm going to cut the rest of it off. After I switched gel pens. So there's that. So we're going to go ahead and trim those in just a second. I'm just going to flip it over and trim it just a little bit. Be careful when you're trimming. And don't do like I did and cut the paper a little too short. Because then I'm going to have to go back and fix it. All right, so there's that card. For the next card, I'm using the Warm Wishes, and I've used I think it's Christmas mugs die set. And I've cut just that from some white cardstock for the whipped cream and some of that watercolor paper I made for my mug. I'm going to add the whipped cream in there. And I'm also going to add some marshmallows as my little whipped cream fell off. We're going to pop on our little mug and put the whipped cream back in place. I'm going to add a couple marshmallows up into my little mug right there because we got some hot chocolate going on. Why not? And we're going to add a little snowflake die cut. I am going to take the Stardust glitter pen and add a little glitter accents into the center of all those little circles on the snowflake. That's the panel I ended up not using because it was not all the way done. There's white gel pen and the glitter highlight pen. So I'm just coming in and just adding glitter to the center of each one of those circles. Super easy card to do. I did add some shimmer up onto the whipped cream as well and the marshmallows because it needed some little shimmer. So we're going to finish off by adding a few little gel pen highlights just around the cup. Anywhere that the cup was rounded, I added a little bit of a highlight to that to make it look more natural. And there are a few more little highlights. I went a little crazy probably with the highlights, but you know I always do. So there is that card front. I did go back to, as I finished up the cards, I added different elements to them. You will see in the blog post. Here's a look at all the cards that I made today. And if you like this video, you're probably going to like the one coming up next. I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Love you. Stay crafty.